Dear fellow Malaysian, our country is choked with crime and no longer a safe place. Criminals are now so daring that they steal in public places and in broad daylight. They target everyone, women, children, the elderly, even foreigners. No one is spared, and injuries and death are common. Why isn't the government controlling crime? Isn't it the fundamental duty of a government to protect its people? And what does our government have to say about it? Sadly, our government denies that crime is on the rise. Using PEMANDU statistics, Dr. Sri Hishamuddin Hussein argues that crime is in fact decreasing. This Home Minister reasons that any increase in crime is merely an issue of perception. PEMANDU itself blames both the mainstream and social media for sensationalizing crime to give an impression that crime is on the rise. Would you agree? The government also blames others. For example, Bukit Aman CID Director Datuk Sri Muhammad Bakri Zinin says that careless house owners should be blamed for break-ins. And MCA President Datuk Seri Chua Soi Lek states that shopping mall owners should be blamed for their poor security that allows crimes to happen. But what do others have to say? The view of Tan Sri Musa Hassan, our ex-IGP, is that the current government is hiding facts over the country's crime rate. Responding to PEMANDU statistics, he claims that public security has reached a worrying stage. He suggests that our government appoint a third party to conduct an independent review of the country's crime rate. Such is his distrust of official statistics. Former Deputy Bank Negara Governor Tan Sri Dr. Lee See Yin is also dissatisfied. He states that people and investors just don't feel safe, whatever the data may show. But most importantly, ordinary Malaysians have long realized that there will be little or no help from the current government to prevent crime. Every day, more and more residents are taking their own measures to protect themselves. There is an increase in gated and guarded communities, in households installing CCTVs at home, in websites recording and documenting crime, and in community action groups to create awareness of crime. The fact that Malaysians are taking security and safety measures into their own hands is a strong indication of their lack of faith and trust in the government's will or skill to protect the people. The government has for years acknowledged that crime is a serious issue. Whilst in office, former Prime Minister Tun Abdullah Badawi remarked that the more serious challenge is to address the rising crime rate. His successor, Datuk Sri Najib Razak, echoed the same, saying, "We want a Malaysia that is safe, where neighborhoods and their roads are free from crime and people feel peaceful. But talk is cheap." Our daily real life in Malaysia, as we all know, is far from it. And despite the failing security, more and more money continues to be spent on policing. Over the last 3 years, the yearly budget for police expenditure increased from 4.5 billion ringgit in 2010 to 5.8 billion in 2011 and finally 6.3 billion in 2012. But where the money was spent was even more disturbing. Only a tiny 8% was allocated to criminal investigation. More than half was allocated to management and logistics. And most surprisingly, internal security and public order received the second highest allocation. All this means that the priority of the government is to protect itself rather than to protect the people. In the face of this poor state of affairs, the de facto opposition leader, Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, had a very positive note. He said, I still have a lot of confidence in the police force. And I think, given a good policy and clear political commitment, the police will perform professionally. Let us usher in a new beginning this coming general election. Let us vote in a new government that will place the security of its people first and make Malaysia a safer place for all. Vote for real change.